You're listening to the Bob and Bo Show. Here are your hosts, Ty Bob, Ty Bo, and Sean. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am Ty Bob, joined by Ty Bo and Sean. Ty Bo will be probably jumping out of here in just a little bit before we finish up. He is on vacation and has a few things planned to do.
I got a rehearsal dinner to go to. About to be a wedding tomorrow night, and then the Bills game this weekend. It's going to be a lit ass for me.
It'll be fun.
Lit.
Well, folks, we have got a pretty good weekend coming up for week 6 of the NFL Showdowns. Obviously, we're kicking off tonight, which is Thursday, with the Bears and the Commies. We've got some news that we should talk about a little bit here. Number one, in the Devonte Adams situation coming from Monday, the cameraman who was pushed and knocked over by Devonte has filed a police report. We've already talked about this. You probably know all the details. It turns out that cameraman is not a Kansas City Chiefs employee. He is an ESPN employee. So anybody who's out there doing their QAnon conspiracy theories, what's Kansas City going to do? Call up ESPN at halftime and say a cameraman get in place for this 1-point victory after Hunter Renfrow runs into no, that's not going to happen. That can't happen that quickly. Second piece of information that came out today, I definitely saw it from Bleacher Report, but it came from a few other sources. The NFL is still looking to push out Dan Snyder. There does need to be, I believe, a majority vote by the NFL owners. Now, the report was Dan Snyder said in confidence, I believe it was, and it just got leaked, is that he has enough information to drag down every single owner in the NFL, along with Roger Goodell, disbanding, which would make the NFL probably disband with the blackmail that he does have. That's some pretty damning. Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commies.
A total shitbag, man.
He has been investigated over the last, I beve, 9 months.
I was about to say, he's the guy that they've been going after recently,
Yeah.
right?
He is the reason why. I shouldn't say he is the reason that this happened, but he was the reason why the information about John Gruden came out with the emails. He and the rest of his staff or former staff are being investigated for sending around nude photos of cheerleaders or just inappropriate photos of cheerleaders in the organization, along with a few other items that are damning. I believe there's enough evidence for the NFL owners to come together and be able to push him out, but he is stating that there's evidence that he has to blackmail the rest of the owners and take down the league.
Just real quick, the Davante Adams situations, it's gone further than just the charges pressed. He has been charged of misdemeanor assault through the kid. After the filing of the police report, the Kansas City Police Department says they have enough evidence to charge him with misdemeanor assault.
Yeah, doesn't it already have a court date?
Yes, there is a court date. Most people on Twitter had enough. They were respectful enough to black out his address that was on the court report. However, 41 Action News, I believe it was, did not have that same common courtesy and just
freaking amateurs, bro.
Address. So
how do you block it out on Twitter but not the news?
No. It was on Twitter. On Twitter, everybody else on Twitter besides 40. I'm pretty sure it was 41 Action News.
How does everybody besides the news?
They just put the file up there. And
how are freelance people or people that aren't even affiliated with something official smarter or more courteous than a news team? That information should 100% be redacted. Get your shit together.
Why are our news sources in Kansas City so bad? You've got the Kansas City Star, which writes or allows an op-ed from some dude in Glendale Springs, Illinois, or wherever that is, write something diminishing to Patrick Mahomes, our star. You've got KCTV5, who allows the BS that happened with Tyreek last year or the year in the offseason, which was damning and totally incorrect. And now I believe it's 41 Action News is putting out a professional player's living information. You don't do that.
They're thirsty, bro. They think that they're self-righteous, like, I don't there's not a whole lot to say about it, man. It's kind of that way with media in general. That they're thirsty for clicks. They need interaction. Like, it is what it is, and it's sad.
Get out the news correctly, not the most quickly.
Yeah.
You'll still get your clicks. You'll still get your views. The Dan Snyder incident is damning for the NFL. It's safe to assume that all day today and probably up throughout the weekend, Roger Goodell and the NFL office will be calling all owners and figuring out what skeletons are in what closets and what can we do in this situation, because they do want him out. He's not good for business. He hasn't been good for business, but only time will tell with that. And now we will break into outside of our news source, but into week 6 NFL showdowns where Sean will give us his just the tips.
We're going back to a little part of this that I dropped for a week or two. That is a player to watch. Player to watch this week is one Brian Robinson for the Washington Commies. This man got shot twice in the leg and he's already back. He is now their running back 1 in Washington. He came back last week, got 9 rushes for about 22 yards. Not great numbers for him last week, but coming into this week, getting a much bigger workload. Look for him to go, ready to go. Player to watch. Maybe not start him. We'll see, but definitely watch him out. Now we're getting on to the players to start and the players to sit. Starting out with quarterbacks, we're going to go with Joe Burrow. He's going back to Louisiana to play against New Orleans. They're coming off a loss. Look for him to feel very comfortable back there in NOLA. Geno Smith versus Arizona.
Orleans. Let me just correct you real quick.
Can't
New
say NOLA.
Orleans.
I can't say NOLA.
Orleans.
You can say NOLA, but
that's what
you
I said.
Say you said New Orleans. You should
Nolans.
Nolans.
Fixed it for you. Next up, Geno Smith. He's playing against Arizona. He can throw the ball around a little bit. There's been some controversy. Apparently, Drew Lock is nipping at his heels. I don't think that's any real thing that's going to happen anytime soon. Look for him to go off against Arizona, though. Last one, Kirk Cousins against Miami. It's Kirk Cousins. You never know what you're going to get. I feel like this may be the week he has some points. Give him a try if you have no other options at quarterback. If you need to pick somebody up, good chances he's out there. Running backs, Breece Hall, rookie for the New York Jets. I don't think that passing offense will do very well against Green Bay. Their defense is still pretty good. Look for him to run and look for him to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. Alvin Kamara. He came back last week, looked amazing. Look for him to continue that. He is the Saints offense. They can't do much without him. Last running back here, Kenneth Walker. They love to run the ball for Seattle. Rashad Penny is out. Look for him to have lots of touches. Wide receivers.
I had to get him because Rashad Penny was out for me, and I was just banking on that waiver claim. I wasn't at the top, but I got him.
Are you starting him this week?
I have to. I don't have much else at running back.
I really hope he kind of throws off because I'm playing you this week. Wide receivers, Michael Pittman Jr. Didn't play the last time they played the Jags. Look for him to actually do something different this week. They are there. He's ready to go. He should have an impact against the Jaguars. They're not looking too good. Alan Lazard. All he does is score touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. Does a little bit of extra, but mainly just score touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. Last wide receiver here, DJ Moore for the Carolina Panthers. This will be his first game in a long time. Can't remember how long now. Without Matt Rule, and he doesn't have Baker this week. Look for him to have a little bit more on the offense. Look for the Panthers to play a little bit better on offense since it's a big game for them. They just fired their coach. Let them do something. Throw the ball to
You
DJ
think
Moore.
you think he's gonna have production after just asking for a trade?
What better way to get out? He's traded than have a big game.
Like, you think his motivation for playing well is going to be getting like trade interest?
It can't hurt him.
I wouldn't say that
Sus,
he's not. I wouldn't say
Sean.
that he's not
Sus.
playing well. The team play. The reason why he's not doing well is just the team play. But I'll go into that same sentiment. I don't think he's going to play well because his quarterback Sam freaking Darnold or PJ Walker.
Well, just
You
look
kidding
for
me?
it.
One sees ghosts and one played in the XFL.
Once he has 16 plus fantasy points, come talk to me. I feel like he's gonna have a big week.
And if
They
he
just
doesn't, you're
fired
going to
Matt
get two
Rule.
birds.
I'm fine with that. Give me 3 birds. Moving on to tight ends here, we have Taysom Hill. That man, they put him in the red zone. He's going to either run the ball, and whenever they think that he's going to run the ball, he's going to pass the ball. He's only getting opportunities for touchdowns, really. He can still break a big run off. You never know what you're going to get with him. Feels like a week that he can actually go off against the Bengals. Last tight end here to start, Irv Smith Jr. for the Minnesota Vikings. Look for them to throw the ball a lot towards his way this week. He doesn't get a lot of action, but this week I feel like he's going to get a lot.
Great reasoning.
Hey, it's my segment, man.
Should I drop Hayden Hurst and pick up Irv Smith Jr.?
Yeah, because guess who's on the sit-em list for tight ends? Hayden Hurst.
Wow.
He's literally trending upward. Okay.
He is, but the Saints love taking away the tight end option. That's one of the best things they can do is take away the tight end. We're going to go reverse order here, sticking with tight ends. Gerald Everett versus the Broncos. The Broncos also love to take away the tight ends. I don't see that going too well for the Chargers going to him during this game. Keenan Allen might finally return this game as well. So look for Justin Herbert to have a few more options out there to throw to. Wide receivers to sit. Michael Gallup. He's going up against big play Slay. You never know what you're going to get with him over there. Not seeing too much from him, especially with Cooper Rush's quarterback and the rest of the Eagles defense out there.
Brandon, even if he's not seeing Darius Slay, he's got James Bradbury. So
yeah, it's gonna be rough for him all day over there. Next wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Sit him.
Dropped him.
Even better. The talent's there, but the volume is just not there for him. They just don't pass him the ball enough over there. Last wide receiver to sit is Amari Cooper. They're playing the Patriots. Bill Belichick is going to focus in on Amari Cooper. They're not going to let him go off.
Super duper Cooper.
Patriots defense is looking pretty good right now. I know they just played the Lions, but before that, the Lions were the #1 scoring offense in the league. So running backs here, Michael Carter. They don't game plan it for him really. The only time he's getting a lot of points in fantasy so far this year is whenever he's scoring touchdowns. And I feel like they're still going to give it to Brees Hall there. Last running back to sit is Ezekiel Elliott. Tony Pollard is the explosive back there. They're going to put him in there for all the big plays. And the quarterbacks now. Sit these quarterbacks. Zach Wilson going up against Green Bay. Tough defense over there. Jacoby Brissett. Patriots defense just looks too good for them right now. He's still a backup quarterback, no matter what he's doing out there. And Daniel Jones. Ravens defense is finally coming along a little bit. They're holding offense is pretty low right now. Look for him to struggle a little bit, maybe get an injury, and we'll see Tyrod Taylor, Davis Webb in that game. And that is just the tips.
I like it. Some good calls. We'll have to go back and make sure you are where you're right and where you're wrong. I like it. As tradition, we do have some games of the week. These are our 3 best games of the week, obviously outside of the Chiefs-Bills game. As we have already talked about that on our Chiefs show. If you haven't listened to that, go back and do that for us. But boys, who do we have as our games of the week?
So I didn't pick first, but I'm going first because I'll be signing off right after. But I'm taking the Giants and the Ravens. To me, that was the tastiest matchup this week. The Ravens still have a lot to prove, and the Giants are trying to prove that they should belong or they should have the record that they have. Saquon seems to be willing them to victory at certain times. So the showdown versus Saquon and Lamar Jackson is going to be extremely interesting to me. I I hope the Giants are for real, but I also hope that the Ravens don't drop too far in the AFC because I like them as contenders. Lamar Jackson has been doing some special things. I really hope that he can continue it because really, if there's anybody that deserves a contract like Deshaun Watson got, it's Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely. That'd be a really good matchup right there.
Thank you
And
for
he
your
is
game of the
out.
week, Tybo. See you, brother.
Have fun, man. Have a drink for me.
Sean, you pregame real quick what I was drinking during the last podcast. You've heard of Screwball, right?
Absolutely.
Dough Ball. It's made by the same company. It's a cookie dough whiskey.
Ooh.
You pour that equal parts with Bailey's, cookies and cream. Okay.
Well, shit,
fantastic cocktail.
I'm gonna have to try that out now.
Yes.
Take that to the bank.
Thanks for the
But
heads up.
with that, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go get trashed the night before wedding. So and then get trashed again on
It's
the
gonna be
wedding
trashed all weekend, so
all weekend. Love you, boys.
Later, bro.
love you too.
And Sean, who do we have for our game of the week?
We got a matchup of the boys and the birds. This is an NFC Beast matchup. Top two teams in the NFC East. This is an are they for real game right here. Are the Eagles for real with their record? And are the Cowboys going to be for real whenever Dak comes back? The Cowboys win, Dak may be out a little bit longer just to make sure he's fully healed. But if they lose, I guarantee you Dak will be back the next week. And really, can the Eagles keep it going? How long can they stay undefeated for? That's what I'm looking forward to in this matchup.
I don't think we've covered this. This is Cooper Rush's team now.
It is, man. It is.
He's not leaving. Listen. The Eagles are good. I think he ends up making this a close game. There's no way the Cowboys win here. Their defense is solid, but we'll get into picks later. But man, I think Cooper Rush plays well, sends him out with one final go.
Cooper Rush has guaranteed himself a contract in the NFL for years to come now, just because of this play.
He is the new Chase Daniel, if not a starting quarterback, at least in some capacity. He's either going to fluctuate in between being the new Chase Daniel or he will be the new Fitzmagic.
I'm not going to give him the Fitzmagic yet. He hasn't done enough magical things.
Hey, he's 4-0. That's magical.
He's 4-0, but he's not exciting like Fitzmagic was.
That's true. I'll give him that. My game of the week is going to be the Battle of the Birds. I have Cardinals, Seahawks on mine. We all know how good Geno is playing in that offense. The Seahawks are much better than anybody expected them to be. Even though they're losing Rashad Penny, Kenneth Walker, I believe the third, is really,
I think so, yeah.
He's really good, man. Like that is a guy that you need to watch out for 100%. They're 1 week removed. The Cardinals are 1 week removed from getting D-Hop back. This is going to set the precedence for what it looks like when he comes back. Double XP weekend is over. The short man out there slinging the ball around is going to be much, much better.
Rondale Moore's looked great in his last 2 games back, so receiving options galore.
Yeah, do not expect James Conner to do much if he's even playing this week. He has been bad. We all expected him. Last year was a blip on his radar. He will not be looking to cook any further after last year. But that will be, I feel like, one hell of a game. Given how electric that Geno is lately, that should be pretty good.
Who would have thought Geno would be this electric?
Geno. They wrote him off, but he didn't write back, baby. What did you expect? What did anybody else expect? To do nothing. And that's okay. That is all right. Well, folks, it is time to get into our Pick'em for the week. Now, Tybo is gone, but he did leave me his pick, so I do have him here. I will make sure that every single pick that he has given me is changed to the losing team because Tybo absolutely sucks and needs to be taken down a pick.
Absolutely.
No, I'm joking. I will read those off. So, Sean, you will be taking point on going first. Starting off on the, we've already picked the Thursday game, so that one's out there. You can go back to Wednesday's uploads, as that's when we put them out. So to start off our Sunday games, no more English games, no more 8 a.m. start times. Thank you.
There's
Jesus.
one more. There's one more this
Is there
year.
one more? Good Lord.
It's at
Get
the
it
end of
out
the month.
here.
Yep.
I don't want it. I don't
I don't want it either.
We'll start off our Sunday at noon with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers headed into Pittsburgh playing the Steelers. The Steelers here are an 8-point dog.
I'm gonna have to go with the Buccaneers. I don't see the Steelers doing anything. Kenny Pickett's still over there. Looked terrible against the Bills last week, and the Bucs defense is good, if not just as good as the Bills defense.
Ibo will also take the Bucs here, as will I. Kenny Pickett's getting good report with George Pickens. Keep that on your radars. He's had nearly 15 points 2 weeks in a row. I'd expect them to keep that moving. As we will move here to our next noon game. This is the New York Jets headed into Green Bay and taking on the Packers. The Packers here are a 7.5-point favorite.
I want to pick the Jets. I really do. But I don't see Green Bay losing in Lambeau to the Jets, especially to Zach Wilson.
And I also want to pick the Jets. This is a heavy one. Tybo will also go along with Sean and pick the Packers. Ooh, I think I'm going to have to do it. The Jets are looking good. Saleh is coaching well. Zach Wilson is back, and they've got things a little motivated over there. They just are coming off the back of a big win. I am going to take the Jets. Next up, we have got the Minnesota Vikings headed into Miami, taking on the Dolphins, who will be starting Skylar Thompson out of K-State as their quarterback. He didn't start last week, but I believe he was in on the second play after Teddy Bridgewater's concussion. So the Minnesota Vikings here are a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I want to keep going with the Dolphins here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the Vikings. They have a semi-competent quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You don't know what you're getting with Skylar Thompson. Tyreek didn't look too well for them last week, and Jalen Waddle did not come to play at all last week. So look for the Vikings to have a big game and the Dolphins to make it close at the end.
Yeah, the Tybo is also going to take the Vikings. I would expect a full week of repetitions between Waddle and Tyreek with Skylar is probably going to have a little bit better outing against the Vikings, but they're just too deadly. Justin Jefferson went off for 125 or 150 yards in the first half, while Kirk Cousins had 175 yards in the first half. It was
something
nuts.
Like that.
Give me the Vikings. It was astronomical. Next up in the noon hour, we've got the San Francisco 49ers heading into Atlanta, taking on the Falcons in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The 49ers here are 5-point favorites.
Give me the Niners. I like what their defense is doing, and they look pretty solid. And the Falcons, they just have seemed to struggle a little bit. I know they're getting Kyle Pitts back this week, but I don't think that they know how to use him properly, and he's not going to be enough over there in Atlanta.
Combo's also going to take the Niners, as will
Damn.
I. It's seeming we're at the part of the season where if you're doing money line picks, straight up pick them, it's going to get pretty close here because we know who teams are now. We know what to expect. Next up in the noon hour, we've got the Baltimore Ravens headed into MetLife taking on the Giants. The Giants here are 5-point dogs at home.
I'm going to this is a tough one, man. I think it's going to come down to a field goal, and the Ravens are going to have the ball at the end, so I'm going to go Ravens.
You and Tybo are picking the same here with the
Christ.
Ravens.
I should have really looked at his picks, man.
I have to go with the Giants. Defensively, they're very sound. Offensively, obviously not much is working there, but the Ravens have not done well against rushing teams, and they have also, and that's their wheel basket, right? You got Barkley, you got Danny Dimes being able to run out there. Receiver wise, not so much. So I'm going to take the Giants to win this one. Next up, we do have the Cincinnati Bengals heading down to New Orleans. It's a battle of who dat, who dey, all the same crap because they like to steal from each other for no reason. But Joey B and the Bengals here are 2-point favorites away.
Give me the Bengals in Louisiana. Nolans. This is where Joey B won the national championship for LSU. He's very comfortable in that building. He loves it there, and the people of Nolans love him. And I just see him coming out with a win.
You and Tybo have the same exact picks heading up to this point. I think I have to take the Bengals here as well. The Saints aren't good, man. Outside of the trickery they have with Taysom Hill, like they don't have much. And it's very telling. Next up in the noon hour, we have got the New England Patriots headed into Cleveland, taking on the Browns. The Browns are surprisingly 2-point favorites in this game.
Ooh, damn. Do we know if Bailey Zappi's the quarterback?
I believe Bailey Zappi is the quarterback.
Give me the Patriots then. I'm going all Patriots. Their defense is coming along well, and the Browns are going to be the Browns.
This is where you and Tyvo finally part ways for once this weekend. He is going to take the Browns, while I also have to agree with Sean here on the Pats. The defense is too good. The Browns without a solidified QB1 is just not that good. Bill Belichick knows how to command a defense, and that's the only reason why he was able to win so many rings. Brady as well, like the defense carried him for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to our final game in the noon hour here. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars headed into Indianapolis to take on Matt Ryan and the Colts, who are a 2-point favorite.
Now, this is a matchup that has already happened this year, and the Jaguars blanked the Colts in Jacksonville. The Colts always play terrible in Jacksonville for some reason. They never seem to win there. But I feel like this is a get-right game for them. Jonathan Taylor's going to be back, ready to play. Give me the Colts.
Just like that, Sean and Tybo are back on the same page.
Jesus Christ.
Took one game. It took one game. I am going to have to take the Jags here. I don't think that they're for real as much as I thought they were towards the beginning of the season. However, the Jags are still good. They still have a superior defense to the Colts. They have superior weapons to the Colts, or utilization of those weapons, I should say. So expect the Jags to come out winners here. Next up in the at our 3:05 hour, we have got the Carolina Panthers. They're heading across the country to play in SoFi against the Rams, who are a 10-point favorite in this game.
Now, going east to west is really tough for these NFL teams. No matter what, west to east is still as tough for everybody as well. That being said, the Panthers just fired Matt Rule. They are a dumpster fire over there, and Baker Mayfield was not the quarterback. You have Sam Darnold as quarterback. Give me the Rams all day.
We're all three going to be on the same page here. I don't think many people are going to pick the Panthers to do anything here. If you're putting money down on the Panthers, you may need to seek clinical help. We will move on to our final 3:05 game. It is the Arizona Cardinals who will head in to Seattle and take on the Seahawks. The Seahawks here are 2-point dogs at home.
Give me the Arizona Cardinals in the Battle of the Birds. I just feel like they're going to win this game. That's all I got to say about it.
That's pretty good reasoning, I'd say. Tybo here is going to take the Seahawks, and I think he's going to agree with me when I say this. I will also take the Hawks. Geno is playing phenomenal. As this is one of the game of the weeks, I do think that it'll be a very close game. But without D-Hop, the Cardinals have been awful, and they'll continue to be. Their defense is not what it once was. I don't expect them to go too much further into the season, even with D-Hop coming back. Now, we've already picked the Bills-Chiefs game. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to our Chiefs podcast. It will have all of our details there. We'll move into our Sunday night game. It is one of the games of the weeks. It is Dallas Cowboys heading into Philly, taking on the Eagles, who are here a 6.5-point favorite.
It's in Philly. It's going to be rough. Cooper Rush has not faced a defense like Philly's defense yet. Give me the Eagles.
That'll make it Eagles all the way around, as Tybo and I will both be taking the Eagles. As we talked about, obviously Cooper Rush it has shown that he is a good and competent quarterback. I don't think they have enough weapons to handle the Eagles at this point in time. And we'll move into the final game of the week that will be wrapping up on Monday. It is the Denver Broncos, who will also be heading to SoFi. So 2 games in SoFi this week. You don't get that very often. Taking on the Chargers. The Chargers here are a 4.5-point favorite.
I don't think this is going to be a good game at all. I think it's going to be a shit show. Probably pretty low scoring. With that being said, I do not like the Broncos. Give me the Chargers.
That'll wrap it up for 3 on that end. I think that speaks for it. Broncos are bad. They'll continue to be bad.
Russell Wilson is bad.
Hackett is bad.
They're all bad.
They're all bad. We should expect to see it that way continuing through the end of the season as well. We'll have to see how the Chargers shake out with a Herbert broken cartilage or cracked cartilage at the ribs. Especially, I believe Keenan Allen is out again as well. So that'll be a way to tell how the AFC West is going to round out as well. We started off saying that all 4 teams could make it to the playoffs, and now obviously it's just going to be one so far. That's going to do it for our pick'em of the week. We'll come back on Wednesday and let you know how we did, round out the weekend with highlights. The best game of the week, obviously, is going to be Bills and Chiefs. There's no question about it. But we can't choose that for game of the weeks because we are Chiefs fans and we had an entire podcast directed to that. Make sure to hit us up at Bob and Bo Show. Let Sean know some players that you want to hear about in his Just the Tip segment. If you listen to the Chiefs show, make sure to let Tybo know what top 5 you want to hear next, whether it's football, pizza, food, destination, anything. He will give you his top 5 on it. Also, let us know if you like the new intro. I'm sure you've heard it now twice. Worked hard on that one. So let us know what you think there. But most importantly, go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.